song goes out to Corey Busta Mercurio from the Cloud Corner.
Beat.
Well, that was awkward. Sorry for anybody watching in B&M. Welcome everybody to tonight's Plumes of Hazard. I'm MassBlast09, and here are my co-hosts, Understudy 77, Fubaka, and El Angstiful Vapora.
Sluxavar, everybody.
What up, Ashes? Oh, my microphone's in the image.
No, Mass, no.
No.
Yeah. Mass Zooms of Hazard says, do it again. They missed the intro music.
Oh.
Roll it again. Back from the top.
There we go. This goes out to our buddy at the Cloud Corner.
Beat.
Sorry, Zooms, you missed it, but that's as good as we're going to get.
Yeah, there it is. I mean, that's pretty much back.
Ahmed, work that hole, buddy.
Yeah.
So what I want to know, Sean, is that DJ thing that you recorded and sent and posted in the Plumes group, did that guy, like, find a clip and mix that specifically, or what?
No. So, I do this party.
Is that the real Corey? Yes, that's the real Corey. And you can play the drums.
I go to this vape shop over the weekend for their grand opening party, and the guy who owns the shop's a DJ. So he brings in a DJ, and he's got, like, his buddy DJing. And I think he was trying to be funny, so he's like, I'm just going to put Plumes up on the TV and not tell him. And I noticed it, and I noticed that the music was going, and everybody's, like, laughing, and I'm like, what? And I look, and I'm like, that's why everybody's laughing. So I start recording it, and at that point, the DJ then made it his mission through the night to find songs that synced up with us.
Okay.
And I got a really, really good one that I didn't post, that I didn't cut yet, of Mast during, like, what fucking song was it? It's like Sexual Healing or something. Just really good.
That's awesome. I adored mine. I thought it was hilarious. There was two or three things that just matched right up.
It was just great.
Mm-hmm.
And, I mean, like, he was trying to line everything up, and it played so well. It was fucking awesome.
I'm out of way up here.
No, out of what? Can't be out of what?
Wisconsin Vapist. No, not the. I'm gonna be out of town that weekend, so I will not be down at the World Vapor Expo in Miami.
WVX. That's a really hard one to say.
I'm out of way up here. It seems. I feel
That
like
one is.
there is a bottle. I know I have at least one bottle in my house, and it's not here. Maybe upstairs, but yeah.
That's a bummer. So what are you going to say when I ask you, like right now, what are you vaping on?
Well, I'm still vaping on way up here. This is how much I was able to fill up. So.
As you were working on
Bill 3, this new one on the Renegade.
Mm-hmm.
I got Vaping Light this week. I got Foos Gold and the Origeni on the 6 Mini. I got the new custard from Labrat, which I think all of you have had at this point, right?
I do. It's very good. We talked about it last week.
I don't like custard. I don't strive for custards, but
no. I
know Labrat, and Labrat told me he put out a custard, so I'm like, let me try this custard, and it's really good. So, yes, that's in the Tugboat on the Titan.
Angsty. Currently actively vaping on the JMFD. Has got a Pico on top. Inside is Abolishment, and I've got the CLR adapter in there, and because I was testing it a couple weeks ago, which I mentioned on the show. But today I realized that it was getting kind of funkified. It's been sitting there for a little bit, like sometimes Clearo heads do. So when I took this thing apart, I kind of gave it a glance. I know they're supposed to be rebuildable. So I just spun the top off. The coil's sitting right there. Just gave it a little wick, a little yank, and tossed it. Put a little Chato scrap that I had in my bag. Threaded that through. Put the cap back on, and after a little dry pulsing, it's back to live. And that has to be one of the easiest re-wakings I've ever done on a non-rebuildable typically head, a replacement coil. So that was pretty cool. On the Masked Mods Micro hashtag No You Cannot Have One, I've got a Hurricane with a Bosman in there because, well, it's freaking good. Got a new mod. This is the Hippo Stick. On top of that is the EVL Reaper, and in there is whatever you think it is. That's Abolishment. I've got another new mod. Oh, it's a mod we're going to talk about in a little bit. But on top, I've got a Narda, and inside there is Foo, you can no longer hang this over my head. I have a 120 of Rail Cracker. That's a good thing because I've been going through that shit like crazy.
I don't gotta wait for USPS to bring it to me.
Yeah, that's true. And I've got a black reference mod, and inside's a new board. It's the DNA 75. I've got a V3 Billow, and inside is what? That's it. Shot.
DNA 75.
I just cut that video and posted a link in side chat for Mass so that you can share it here in a second.
Nice.
I have the JMFD with a Pico with WA. I also have a DNA 75, but mine is not black.
Mm-hmm.
With an Ubertoot with Abolishment. I got a lot of shit tonight. I have the Tosser mod with the EVL sausage.
Breaking out the Tosser, huh?
Yeah. With some Lab Rats Cozy Custard. I have the Kudzu with a Nectar with Cannoli B1. I have the Evo from Art and Mod with the Origin Little with Abolishment. And I have the Melody Box with the Origin Tiny Tank filled with the Canary Coolis? Yeah, from Charlie Noble, which I want to talk about that juice for a second, since we're doing juice talk at kind of the beginning.
Yeah.
And I mean, so I'm gonna start this with Angsty. Shut the fuck up till I'm finished.
I will endeavor to do so.
So it's a melon cantaloupe honeydew, with mango and papaya and watermelon.
What juice is this?
The Canary Coolis from Charlie Noble.
Man, I was gonna talk about Canary Coulis.
Yeah, I really fucking like it. Like, I like it a lot. I like it a lot, dude. So I like cantaloupe. I like honeydew. I like watermelon.
Nope, not in a vape.
So I like it a lot. I'm a big fan.
So on that note, I know you. Is it my turn to talk? Have you finished what you want to say?
I'm a big fan. I think it's really fucking good.
So I want to say thank you to Matt Prossman from Vape Dojo for sending one over. This is where it's going. Well, I very much appreciate you sending over your new juice. Cantaloupe is fucking disgusting.
So
disgusting.
Cold-blooded.
Just stick a label on that shit and send it to me, because I'll vape it.
There you go. I could do that.
Yeah.
So cantaloupe tastes like rotten, slimy fruit. I hate it.
Yeah.
Hate it with a burning passion. Disgusting.
I like fruits, like cantaloupe.
I like it a lot.
I like it, but I don't like it in the vape. I don't know why. It's just.
Because I vape that shit and it makes me want to go wherever they film the Corona ads.
There's a lot of things that remind me of that.
I really enjoy it. And of most of the Charlie Nobles that I've had, probably with the exception of pistachio, I enjoy it more than almost all the other ones. So, I mean, I really like this liquid.
I'm sure it's great if you like cantaloupe.
Yes. And you have to kind of like Cantaloupe's weird in a vape too, though, because there's other Cantaloupe vapes that I've hated.
Mm.
Yeah.
And it tends to change sometimes for me. Like there's a Cantaloupe juice that I really liked that eventually ended up starting to taste like puke to me.
Because Cantaloupe tastes a little like puke. So thanks again to Matt. I appreciate it. That's no offense on you. I just can't.
Yes.
Anything else, Sean?
No, I think that's all I got.
Matt.
I'm vaping on Don Q's the Q from Yai e-cigars though, and their interesting tank, and I put some canary culos, that's like canary butt, in one of my drippers, and it wasn't. Nope. And I also got a DNA 75, but mine is, let's see if we can pull this up here, is that big. It's just a square.
Oh.
It's in your hand.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Wow, that looks like an Evolve 510.
Yeah. I can't show you anymore, but there you go. So it's also got a DNA 75 in it. So
that's funny. I actually saw somebody posting about a different reference mod, but instead of being squished like that when it was wider, it was like this wide. It's 2 650s out.
That's actually, I think, the Silo. It's the 2000 Ma from Modcrate, I think.
Modcrate. Yeah, I couldn't remember who it was. I think that may be right.
Yeah, I think it holds a 2000 Ma. So no, this. I was just joking around. God, I can't even joke because now they're gonna get blasted about. Oh my God, the 75 watt board is still. No, this is just a regular reference mod. I just don't have the back on it because I can't really show the insides. Because you know me, as soon as I got it, I took it all apart.
Yeah.
So.
I took it apart, but I didn't want to monkey with the sled anymore because I thought I was gonna break it.
So.
We should probably semi-address the 75 right away, too. But just, if by nothing else saying...
You can wait till next week when I get mine.
No, because I'm not actually...
Nope.
I'm not reviewing it, and that's kind of what I want to say. Like, we're not going to be reviewing the DNA 75 for a while.
Yes.
We're beta testing the DNA 5. We have permission to say that. But we're not necessarily open to a whole bunch of questions about it, because it is still very early in the beta process.
Yeah. And which is weird, right? Because last time they said, we couldn't say anything about the 200.
Yeah.
This time they're like, cool. So it's cool. I'm glad we can say that. We don't have to try to keep it secret.
Yep.
Nice.
But don't expect a whole bunch of reviews and or questions or, because there's really nothing to say.
No.
Because, there's too much will change between now and release for us to say a damn thing about it.
Except for it works. I'm vaping on one right now.
It does vape. It does exist.
Yes.
Those things we can say.
All right. Foo, you got anything to talk about this week?
What's wrong with my nail polish rack?
Nothing.
Did you get that video?
I can't see it. That's the problem.
Oh. I guess he's complaining about his TV. I don't know.
One thing I realized we forgot to talk about from Tampa were these things that we got.
I didn't get one of those.
I'm still using mine. You didn't get one? I thought you were standing there with us.
Yeah,
No,
you
it
were.
wasn't with
Yeah.
me.
We got one of these. This one happened to come from Rock Bottom Bottles. This is like their color, and it's got like their logo on the thing. But they get these made in China. These are probably I don't know who makes them. I could probably find out.
They wholesale them.
They wholesale them.
Rock Bottom does, and they get them customized and stuff.
They're great. I used it the whole weekend in Tampa. I brought it back with me home, and I've been using it at my desk since I washed it. Foo's Gold left a skid mark, of course. None of the other juices did. But this is probably like the vape rags are cool. They're good to take out with you.
Yeah, because they're small.
That's because you could fold them in half. Because I'm a grown ass fucking adult. I don't need to walk with a rag hanging out of my pocket.
Or on your head.
Or just rag head.
Throw it out that I've been zoomed up on Mass that whole time while he was.
These things are awesome. And
Okay, I'm just gonna be like this the whole show now.
By the way, if you've got any sort of microfiber cloths, not just these, don't ever use detergent on them. Just water rinse.
I use detergent on this.
No softener.
Yeah, no. Oh, that's pretty softener. You can use a little light stuff like this soap or something, but don't use softener.
This stuff soaks up the juice, though. It's pretty.
This is probably one of the best microfiber cloths I've used.
I was gonna cut a piece off to wick.
So I gotta ask too: is everybody in not Chrome?
Yes.
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 Okay. Because we're a little more potato than last week.
That happens. Thank you, Google. Thank you, base Google.
Yeah. We're all in HD in here. We're just potato over there.
Yeah, because they're fucking up.
Yeah. Yay.
We did nothing wrong. So yeah, these rags are awesome, and I got to find out where to get more, so you can also be enlightened. Some of you may have something like this already and know the wonders of using that. But I saw something really cool on Instagram the other day. Yeah, is this it? Yeah, that shit right there from Jabo, you know, the household name guy. That is a pre-made coil that he has made.
Mm-hmm.
So it's called a notch coil.
I have to reserve pretty cool because when you talk about the specs, I'll comment because there's one thing that really concerns me about that.
Okay.
It's like 6 mil big.
Yeah, dude. The people who really like that shit, like the super nichrome builders, they build wide diameter coils, like 4.5 and 5 hertz, dude.
Yeah, that thing's like it's not gonna fit in a bunch of shit.
Yeah, so that's one of my criticisms of it. It's cool. I may try them out. If you see, they're already like pre-center posted, which is neat. But yeah, 5.5 millimeters is a bit much. The highest I'll go on diameter for my own personal vaping is 3.5 millimeters. But this is fucking cool. These look awesome. They look like they're gonna work great for its intended audience. And
looks like it's gonna snag cotton like crazy.
I'm gonna use too many words to this, but Jabo has done something really cool that other people aren't. I'm not gonna use the term because fuck that.
Yeah.
And I like seeing shit like this because the pre-made coil Clapton market is very, very saturated as it is, and it's cool. It's awesome now that you can get Clapton so easy. But now this is like it's a nice, cool next step in that direction. I feel.
Sure. Let me know how it goes. I'd consider.
Or instead, it seems like you could shove a battery in that thing.
It is big. I am curious to see if it works. I'm curious to see what addy you're going to be able to stick it in without.
Kennedy 24 millimeter probably.
I don't think it would fit in. It might fit in the anarchist Dwayne made big.
Phenotype L.
Yeah, that.
24 millimeter addies off the bat.
Yeah. Well, but you know, I mean, that's not going in a Narda. That's not going in any of the tanks I have sitting over here. It's not. Not going in the.
I wonder if it had to be that diameter because of the cuts that are being put into it, so it wouldn't like fold onto itself.
Tolerances and such.
Yeah.
They have. Either way, I'm curious. I'm curious to see what you see.
Yeah. I was supposed to actually put up a build guide for the Bill of V3 today, and I had shit come up in the afternoon when I wanted to do it. I'll be doing it tomorrow, so need not worry. Assuming the power does not go out, because it is fucking windy outside right now in the Northeast. As you know.
I'm really excited about a Fubaka build guide. I don't know about you.
Somebody asked me to do one on the Origin Tiny Tank, too, so I'm going to do that this week.
Because I figured out the wicking on this a few nights ago. The best wicking method, I feel. So I'm like, all right, let's do a build guide. And of course, I asked Angsty if he already did one first. He's like, no, I haven't. I'm like, I'm going to do it.
Yeah, and it's all you. Mooch says, aren't a lot of 3mm eddy coils over 5mm OD? And that's true, but I think this one is 4.5 millimeters inner diameter.
Inner diameter, dude.
Or
this
like 5.5 millimeters inner diameter.
5.5 inner diameter.
Yeah. 5.5 inner diameter. So yeah, it's a chunky coil, but it's flatter, right? So it's not as wide as some of the stapled gargoyle hoof left turn whatever.
Yeah, it's very.
Those would fit in anything I have either.
It's very thin.
Yeah. So it's got that going for it, right? The ID and the OD are much closer together, I would assume.
That makes sense. But yeah, I think I'll give those a try. But build guide should be up sometime tomorrow on Discourse. It may actually be my first ever post on Discourse.
Not your first, but your first in probably a year.
My first. Okay, no, sorry. It'll be my first productive post on.
There you go.
So.
Right on.
Yeah. Angsty, what do you got going on?
So I was recently encouraged to try Squanking Again. Squanking Again. Mm-hmm. And Sean's been enjoying it longer than I think anybody in this hangout gave him credit for. He has continued to squonk and continued to buy gear, which is a surprise to no one. But he actually acquired an extra Art and Mod Evo, and he asked me if I wanted to try it, which is very kind of him, and I said yes. Because I had a couple of problems with squonking historically, because I've tried it before. The problems I usually had were the mods were large compared to how much battery life that you actually have. I didn't really care for the atomizers, and a couple other smaller things. But those are the two big ones. This thing fixes the first one because it's small. It's only a single 650, but it's also really small. Like if you've got a JMFD sitting right next to it, it's I like meow.
Don't drop that till you pay for it.
Right. It's a little bit wider, but not much, and it's got a bottle inside, which is cool. And the other problem that I didn't enjoy I didn't enjoy the atomizers, and I contacted Nareg, and he sold me he actually sent me, wouldn't let me pay for it, so thank you, Nareg, the bottom feeding pin for my Narda. So now I have a small mod with a 650, which is a reasonable amount of power, with the DNA 40 in it, so a reasonable amount of regulated power, and an atomizer that I really like. All those things together has meant I've been squonking for like 4 days? 5 days now? Yeah. And I'm kind of thoroughly enjoying it. The bottles that you've got in here is nice and squishy and soft. It has not leaked on me except for one time, and it was because my juice was really low and I was having to squeeze pretty hard, and I think I may have pushed a little bit out of the siphon tube at the top. But besides that, it's been really, really good. I think this is kind of cool. I've got my style of vape out of the Narda, because I was running these things on DNA 40s anyway, right? So it's not like that's any different. Now I just don't have to have a bottle with me. It's pretty cool. You still have one of my other downsides that it doesn't fix because it's kind of natural to squonking is, unlike a regular dripper, and I'll get to your point. I'll offer your counterpoint myself, Sean, if you want. But one of the things I like about drippers is when I'm done with this flavor, I can switch. And I do that relatively often, with drippings especially. I tend to keep the same thing in a tank for a while, but dripping I like to switch it up every now and then. And then this one you can't really do that, right? You take it off, you have to rinse it and do whatever you'd normally do, take the wick out. But now you've still got a bottle and a hose and this got shit. It'll have some of it, still in this 510 squonking area inside, and you can't really clean it out, I guess, like I would personally prefer to be able to do. But I have only been running Railcracker in here because it's good, and it's been working really well in here. But I don't know. This is really nice. I've really enjoyed using it.
I have two counterpoints to that. Actually.
Oh, I forgot to give your point. You can make your own.
Sorry, you're talking about squonking? Sorry.
The first counterpoint is I tend to think of squonking more like I think of a tank anyway.
Right.
Because you have a big bottle there. And the second one is, I lent you a device, so I sent you one bottle. Just get another bottle. They're $4.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna buy
another bottle.
I wasn't gonna buy another bottle until I thought I was gonna get on the squonking, and now that I am, I'll probably have to pull up Rio's site and buy one of the 5X, so that I can switch stuff around a little bit. Do you keep one clean one to rinse out the 510 squirties?
I have several clean bottles, but then I have 3 bottles full of juice that aren't in a squonker right now.
No, I mean to switch out flavors. Do you rinse it out with a clean bottle of water or something?
No, not usually.
No.
I haven't really needed to. I mean, the flavors that I vape for the most part that I've run through here have been similar enough. It's been like raspberry or wah or Abolish Mint.
Oh yeah.
So getting a little bit of additional fucking whatever, and you're talking 2 or 3 drops, right? Because it does a good job of sucking the rest of the juice down.
Does a pretty good job of that, yeah, no doubt.
So I haven't.
But if you go from something if you went from a fruit to I don't know, something that wouldn't be good, like Railcracker and Abolishment, right? Sure. Those two don't really follow each other very well. I like both of those juices a lot. They don't mix well.
In which case, yeah, it wouldn't hurt to just throw a little bit of water in a bottle. Or even if you rinse out one of your bottles, just throw a little bit of water in there.
Yeah.
That's how I clean my bottles. I fill them, I cap them, and then I squeeze. And I watch water shoot across the room.
So that's my thing, and even then, the bottles, these little soft plastic bottles or whatever, when I clean out a tank, if it's Pyrex or even if it's PMMA, I clean out a tank, it's pretty damn clean. And these bottles, like any other juice bottle, if you've ever tried to rinse out a bottle and reuse it, there's always residual smells. And so I'm assuming I'll have to buy several of these bottles so I can label them and say this is abolishment. Don't put rail cracker in it, and that kind of thing. But
all things considered, though, it's not perfect, but nothing in vaping is perfect. Everything has its little things.
foibles.
It's fucking good.
It's really fucking good. Now that I've got an atomizer that I like, and this mod is small enough, it's really cool. And one thing I didn't know, and even though you've had it on here, I wanted to show this because I thought this was pretty cool. So you showed the door where the battery is behind it, but one thing I didn't realize is how to get the bottle out. And this is a magnet, and these are magnet thing too. It just comes right out, which I thought was really cool.
There's one step farther to that though. If you
and then there's your trick.
On the bottom, you just slide, and it pops it off.
You could definitely do that. I was going to show your trick too.
Go ahead.
If you've got one of these things, he pointed out, because what I've been doing is popping the battery out. In order to get the bottle out, I've been popping the battery out for the first couple of days. He's like, oh, you don't need to do that. The lid is kind of thin on one side, and you can actually put it right here inside and catch the bottle and just yank it right out. Then you can leave your battery intact, which is kind of cool. Anyway, I think it's a really cool mod. It's got a few things that I'm not loving about it. Like, it is acrylic, which I like metal, and I like wood more than metal even. And acrylic is a little weird, but squonking is dripping, and dripping is inherently somewhat messy. And the fact that this is just plastic means it wipes off pretty well, and it works fine. And I do like the fact that I do have a little bit of wood on here. Plus, the blowfish is awesome.
I do like the blowfish.
I like the turtle too, but I don't like the specter or whatever.
No.
Anyway,
by contrast, this one is all wood.
Right.
And while I like this one, I enjoyed the acrylic fill with it just because it's so easy to wipe down and shit though.
Horror is asking a really good question. So they're asking if you can drip to the bottom, and I will go ahead and pull this bottle out so you can see the answer to that question. So how the squonking works, if you've not seen it before, these bottles are siphon tubes. So the tube that you've got that goes down, that feeds up into your atomizer, it actually goes all the way down to the bottom of the bottle. So when you squeeze, it's pulling from the bottom. So you've always got juice. If there's any juice in the bottle, it can go up. Now, once you get a lot of air in here and a little bit of liquid, you have to increase the amount of air pressure that you're giving it, which means you have to squeeze it a little bit farther and hold it more, so that it's got the air pressure to push it up, because PV equals nRT and all that. So you got to change the size of the bottle a little bit by squishing it. So yes, it absolutely does all that stuff. So squonking, kind of cool. I'm surprised myself a little bit by liking it as much as I have. I think I might stick with it for a while. I think so. I've been holding out on telling Sean that he's had some hints here and there, but I think he might be right. I am enjoying it now that I have. Now that said, he also sent on the Origin Little or Tiny
Origin Little,
which works. And my short, very abbreviated review of this is, while you can dual coil it, and while I tend to like dual coiling in a dripper, it doesn't work so well in there. It works okay, but for whatever reason, I get a better vape off a single coil with a little bit more air on one side than I do out of the dual opened up medium. I don't know why, but I did. But either way, the Narda's better. So
the Narda is, I said this when I got the Origin Little one. For a restricted lung vape, there's no better Addy on the market than the Narda. There's just not.
Yeah.
For that style of vape. Now I don't restricted lung vape all day. I restricted lung vape very little, and I find the Origin Little to be a very good mouth to lung vape.
It is. I would agree with that. It does mouth to lung better than the Narda does. If that's the way you want to roll, the Origin Little was a very good dripper, but I don't think I'm going to keep it.
Also, I just want to say I called it before I even sent him the Squonker to try. I said I'm gonna take the guess right now. I'm gonna send you the Squonker. You're gonna buy this Squonker because I know you're gonna like it.
Yeah.
So I kind of called that.
You did. No, I gave you credit for that a minute ago. You totally called it. that would have been a failed call had I not gotten my Narda bottom pin.
But I told you to get a Narda bottom pin too, because I know you like the Narda.
You guys, stop it.
Okay, so done. Squonking, very interesting. I might do it for a while.
Wait, did I hear correctly that you said that no one's been doing the squonking longer than Sean in here?
No,
Nobody expected me to do it as long as I have.
Oh, yeah.
None of the people in the hangout expected
Well,
Sean to stick with it as long as he has.
I don't know. Has everybody lost the bet already about him? How long he's been going?
Oh, yeah.
Let's see what Shaken thinks.
Let's see what Shaken thinks.
The bet,
out of his mind.
I believe the bet was at most 2 months, but bordering on 1. And
I was saying 1. I think I said 4 weeks.
Yeah, I'm way past 4 weeks.
I'm waiting for Sean Squonker to take a piss on him while he's driving, and then.
I've had what? 5 different squonking mods in the like a 2-month period.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And
I kept 1. That's about what I figured. I would find 1 that I really liked and keep that 1.
Right. So done with squonking for a while on the show, but I think I'm probably going to keep doing it for a while. I've enjoyed it. Next thing up, I want to talk about this guy, and I was tipped off by this because I've been after this thing for a couple of months when I first saw pictures online, because not only is it a side-by-side and small, it also has the Star Plat board in it, which I have not used yet, and it's called the Hippo Stick, and apparently there's this is still in the first batch, and I think the first batch is finished, and there's only like 15 of them anywhere. But it's small, it's side-by-side, it's titanium, and it's got a new board in it, all of which made me say I need to buy this, at least for a while, so I can check it out. Once I did that, I found another one that came up a couple days later and told Sean about it, and he bought one too because he wanted to try it as well. He's tried all the other boards, and he wanted to try
Because you two are like 2 peas in a pod.
I wanted to try the Star Plat. I really did.
I said this a while ago. Imagine if they were women with shoes.
Yeah. Nobody called me about no damn Star Platinum Plat.
That was the mod that I wouldn't share last week because I did promise him he could talk about it first. But I unfortunately no longer have one to share with.
There you go.
So anyway, so that's.
Did I get offered? No offer.
That is a picture of the one that I did have. It's very pretty.
Whites only, masked.
Yep, I know.
Hey, I've still got my Massey. If you're interested in it, you can have it.
I don't want your nasty touched up freaking. No.
I don't want your kids.
So,
you know, I must say this to because see now after seeing those pictures this weekend of us being played in the B&M, as much as we like to give these guys a hard time about the mods that they get, okay, it is true when one gets one thing, the other one wants it, the other one gets it, the other one gets rid of it. I mean, that's exactly how it is. I mean, it's pretty much just
we
like.
vape very similar styles.
Yes, you vape very similar styles, but when one gets something, the other one's like, ooh, 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 and then the other one's like, oh, I already bought one, and they're like, yay, and then they wait for the USPS, and it's so cute. This is the. I'm not even gonna. Anyways, so, but to be honest, if we ever wanted to, me or Ahmed get one of those mods, Sean and Anxie would absolutely not give us the mod. So
no, because the Narda and JMFD are nothing.
Right?
Yeah. So they always
JMFD
offer.
is so like 6 months ago to you.
Hey, Sean moved up to the sign. The mod's not good enough anymore.
I still, the JMFD is still my favorite mod.
Yeah.
I've had a lot in and a lot out, and I've kept very little, and this is still my favorite mod.
You know what I think would be awesome? A JMF Squonk D.
Mm-hmm.
So I told Jason the last time I was up there he needs to make a Squonker.
Mm-hmm.
If you made a Squonker, man, mm-hmm.
Yeah, I wanted to make a Squonker.
JMFDS. All right, so let's go to the quick rundown on the Star Plat. This board, super cool because, oh shit, I didn't pull up a picture. Welch! Damn it. Sorry. I'm going to pull up a picture because the Star Plat is Very interesting for a couple different reasons, but the biggest thing that I thought was interesting is...
I can share some too if you want.
Oh, have you got a picture of the board?
Yes.
Please share the picture.
Do you want... Sure, okay.
That's what I want to show is how the form factor of the board itself.
So outside of the form factor, while he's pulling up the picture, I do want to say my favorite thing about the Starplat and having it was that it is not only is it upgradable, but it's upgradable with a Mac.
Yes, they have an alpha version of the bootloader. Now I had to, when I saw that, I went and I downloaded it, and you have to download it from like a mail.ru site. There's mass. Yeah, pull that up. Look at that thing. That's the whole board, ladies and gentlemen. That is about the size of the SX350 square screen, and the board just sits right behind it. That thing is tiny as.
I got a better one there to
hit it
to show the size with this guy right here.
There you go. So this thing is really, really tiny, and I think it's really cool. It does 50 watts. It does temperature limiting with nickel and titanium, and a custom. You can set your custom curve number as well. And I can say that it works great with stainless. I've definitely used that as well. One of the cool things about it is it does all that stuff. It does variable wattage. It does variable voltage, which is very, very cool. And it does. It's got a couple different ways of showing your battery, either by a meter or by a tiny little graphical meter and the voltage, which I like as well. It discharges down to like 3.1, 3.2 volts.
There's another one.
So it uses the power really, really well. The display looks pretty cool to me. Let me show you what it looks like on this thing. The way the Hippo Stick does it, they actually put like a tiny little lens in the front. And
I don't love that lens.
It makes it a little bit bigger, but a little distorted. I'm not a big fan of that. I just assumed it'd be small, but that's also probably because I've got relatively good eyes and I could probably read it. It probably is easier to read like this, so fine.
To the Hippo Stick's benefit, though, I don't think that's the only reason they do it. I think they do it because that whole Hippo Stick is completely circular the whole way around. There's almost no gaps. So rather than having a gap in where the screen is, I think that was their solution.
That was
Sean,
the idea.
if you want to zoom in on mine, this is a good representation of size comparison. Let me zoom in a little bit.
Yeah, it's so damn small.
Perfect. Yeah.
Okay, so from left to right, you have the Starplat, and then you have the SX350J, and then you have the Danny Extreme, and then you have the DNA 40. And these pictures are from thevapesnob.com at Starplat. That's where these pictures are coming from. So there's a good, size-wise.
That's actually really cool.
Sure. So, short tour around. We've got top button, which is kind of unusual. I thought it might be kind of fun to try something that's top button. I haven't used that in a long time. One of the reasons this is nice and super clean around the outside is the adjustment buttons are on the bottom. Let me click on myself here so I can see. So on this side, you've got your battery door, and you've got your up-down buttons in the middle, and then you've got the cool little logo, the little Ouroboros kind of guy. So the Hippo Stick mod number 13, which is also cool because 13 is awesome. Comes with a little beauty ring here. The other thing that is a little bit weird is this is awfully wide. So this is a 22 millimeter atomizer, and you can see how wide this guy comes out. So it's thicker a little bit than it looks, which makes it ever so slightly unusual to hold, which I know Sean was not loving at first.
I wasn't loving it at the end. That's why I don't have it.
Right. So I found a couple ways that I've actually been enjoying holding it. The first is kind of a bear claw with a hand on top, but the one I've been using, Ahmed's going to recognize this one as a slider. Mm-hmm. The pretty good slider grip. So 2 fingers on bottom, 2 fingers on the side, and then thumb fire, and it's been working really well. It looks really cool with the dripper on it. If it's a taller sort of dripper, like
it looks really good with the Pico.
Looks really good with the Pico. It looks good with the what's the other thing it had on the Snapdragon? Looks really nice on it.
Have you seen this thing, Steve?
What? Yeah.
Starplat in it?
Yeah. That's
forget the key. Is it
new Stratum?
Is it a Stratum? Okay.
That's the new Stratum.
It's the new Stratum, yeah.
Okay.
The new Stratum is definitely awfully tiny too. So I think this is really cool. I'm not sure how long I'm going to keep it. I do like the fact that it's small and it's super light because titanium and wood. It's not terribly heavy whatsoever. That's why I've got the Reaper on top because it's also titanium and it looks cool, and it makes it just ultra light. Nice mod. Really good board. Really good board.
I really like the Starplat, and it's got some cool functionality. One of the things that I found that I really liked is, so I have a little. I always have that little like, okay, so it adjusts in 0.2 increments. That irritates me, but that irritates me because I'm a weird person. But outside of that, one of the things that I found really cool, because I bitched about the Dakotas adjusting by 1 watt. Starplat releases 2 firmwares for every one, and you can load whichever one you want. One of them adjusts in 1 watt increments, and one of them adjusts in 0.2. To me, that's really cool. That's nice functionality. That gives you a choice.
Right.
I really liked that about the board. I thought the board functioned very well. I thought it fired very well.
Do you want me to go over the specs real quick?
It was super consistent. I got the highlights. I don't want to take too much time on this.
Super consistent.
It was very consistent. Like it really, in my opinion, there's not many things that come up against Evolve for consistency in power delivery, and this one really does do a really good job of it.
That's my favorite of all the others.
5, 6, 7. This one's got the new one's got a custom Hippo Stick logo when you boot up, which is kind of cool. Yeah. Anyway, and it comes with a fun little key.
It also looks a little easier to work with as well.
Somebody asked earlier where to get the boards. There's a guy by the name of Bob Lewis. If you join the Starplat USA group, Bob Lewis does distribution for the entire U.S. for Starplat boards. So he's the guy that you want to talk to. Nice guy. I met him at Chicago Vape Bash last year. Very nice guy. He distributes DNA boards for Canada, Starplats for all of North America. The box is nice. I didn't.
The box is cool. So it looks like a Russian book, and it's even got like the spine bumpies or whatever. But you open up the magnetic enclosure thing, and it's got hair inside, which is weird. It's not really hair, just kind of like packing stuff. Anyway, I think the Hippo Stick is really cool. I've enjoyed using it so far. I'm not sure how long I'm going to keep it around, but it is unusual enough to keep it around for a bit.
I think the board is really cool. I think when Stratum releases a Starplat board mod, which I hear they're doing next month, I'm probably going to get one. But I think
the one that I just showed.
The Hippo Stick was a miss for me.
For form factor, and grip.
Yeah, for form factor, it just didn't do it. The Stratum Plus actually is doing, as far as I understand it here. Actually, I have some pictures. I'll share some pictures of the Stratum with the Starplat. So this is the Stratum that's going to have the Starplat on it. Black and red doors and single button tilt control with the Starplat. I guess that's coming out next month, from what I understand. So I'll probably pick one of those up. And these plastic Stratums are pretty cheap. They're like $150, something like that.
Word.
So
you put the Starplat in it?
Yeah, this one's going to have the Starplat in it. I don't know how much it's going to cost. Oh, look, it does have up and down buttons. That's awesome.
It is awesome. It uses both, by the way. Like the menu screen, you need to use the tilt on a few different menu items. Like, for example, the temperature limiting. You have to get it to the right spot with the up and down buttons, and then tilt to the different ones, which is sort of annoying. But at the same time, that's what you get when you have 3 buttons. It's kind of a thing. Anyway, let's move on. I don't want to spend too much time on that because we've already used a bunch of time. I have, what else do I have? I want to show you a new Squape. So Statquam has coming up with a new Squape, and I wanted to show you a picture because it's Squape and it's newsworthy. This is what this thing looks like. It's
sorry,
it's not pretty. I'm sorry, it's not. And I like. I think the guy that runs it, I think his name is Chris. He seems like a really cool dude. But I don't like all of this business here. It's also like 54 millimeters tall or something.
Jesus Christ, that's big.
It's kind of big. So when the shorty kit comes out, I'll think about picking one of these guys up and checking it out because I feel like everybody that's talking about it was a Damien said it that it shits on the original one, and the original one was apparently quite good, flavor-wise. So I think the fact that something is ugly or not pretty usually gets outweighed by performance in my book. So I'm probably going to have to pick up a Squape X Dream at some point when the short kit comes out because I just can't. I just can't even.
I don't think I'll join you on that one. It's. I mean, it was as much as I like the Vape of the Evil, it was a stretch for me because I think it's ugly. That's a whole other level of ugly.
It is. So I'm hoping that the other thing fixes it. We'll see. We'll see. I'll make that call when it comes to it. I pasted a link to the presenting video in side chat. Mooch, our friend Battery Mooch, the cool one, has updated his recommended batteries. We get this question all the time. I can't imagine how many times a day that this happens to him, but I did want to share this link with you.
And I'll pop the image up, because I was going to talk about that too, but it's all good. I got the image up on the screen.
Please, yeah, knock it out. So basically, it's very similar to the original one. He's just added a couple additional ones. But the biggest thing I wanted to do is get the link out. We don't have to spend much time on it, but the biggest thing I wanted to point out here is notice in this chart, the vast majority, probably 80% of the batteries that are on there are from name brand, non-rewrapped, weird companies, right? We preach about this all the time, but you'll see LG, Samsung, Sony, Panasonic, and did I already say LG? And then AW. These are all long, tried and true companies that have been around. Most of them putting out their own batteries. AW does not, and they never have, but they do a shitload of quality control before they send these things out. You can usually trust what's on those things. So Mooch's stuff, links inside chat. Massey's sharing the picture now that you've seen it. If you don't have side chat, we'll put the link in the description of the video below. Last but not least, Massey, I had a story that happened this last week again. And I seem to have this problem all the time. I don't know why. But when I have a package due, I'm usually watching it. I've got an app that Sean and I use called Deliveries that tracks it, right? It tracks multiple deliveries, keeps them all together, works really well. I had two very expensive things that were coming in, and I was expecting one of them to come in. It was the Hippo Stick, right? And I've been waiting for like 2 weeks. Fine, customs, Chicago, whatever. Takes a while to get there, but it was here is out for delivery. Awesome. I heard, I'm right here in front of my house. I heard the mail guy come, and I heard him go down the street, and then I heard him come back. As soon as I heard him come back, I'm like, hey, my stuff's here. So I walk out. As he was pulling away from my house, where I'm 6 feet away from the door, and there was a box on my doorstep, but it wasn't that. It was a different box. It didn't fit my mailbox. Fine. I went down to the mailbox, and inside of there was, I don't have it anymore, I threw it away. It was a sorry we missed you slip. So they didn't even bother putting it in the box or knocking on my door, and they walked all the way up to my door. They just didn't knock. I don't understand. This thing keeps happening to me over and over again. I don't know what I did. If I farted in this person's cake at some point, I didn't mean to. I'm sorry. Stop it. But this showed up on Reddit.
No, you got to tell the rest of the story.
It sounds like you have a string of shitty mailmen.
You got to tell the rest of the story.
So the rest of the story is I saw them pull away, right? So I hopped in my car and I went to the next street over, and I pulled up behind the mail truck. I was like, hey, you were just at my house. Did you just leave this in my mailbox? And they saw me. They knew exactly what it was. The guy looked really embarrassed because it was one of the sub guys that shows up sometimes. He goes, oh, sorry. She already had that filled out, and I didn't know really why. I just put it in your box. So they were expecting to not deliver to me. Like, they didn't even do it. It was sitting in the car. My mail people suck in this area. I don't understand.
Your mail lady just fucking hates you.
Right? Which is weird because, okay, so I've got two mail ladies that come here regularly. One of them is very friendly, and I'm always nice to her. The other one is very friendly and a vapor. And I talk to her all the time about vape stuff. That's the thing. It would be weird if I had like this surly person that didn't like me or whatever. They were always nice. I usually meet them at the mailbox so they don't have to walk up my driveway. Like, I try really hard to be cool to these people because they're bringing me vape mail. And they still hate me. I really don't think it's necessarily the carrier's fault. I think it's my post office that sucks. But who knows?
Somebody is filling out your sorry we missed you cards prior to even.
And that's happened twice in this last month. I don't understand. I don't understand.
My mail dude's cool. Like, my mail dude's really cool. Like, he'll like wait. Like, he'll knock on the door, and if the cards are there, he'll wait a few minutes. He goes, oh yeah, man, I figured. He goes, you always know when you have packages coming, so whatever.
Right. Crazy. Yeah. Vaping Biker says one of them fancies me, and she's just waiting to speak to me, which is cool, like, because I like talking to them. They're both, like I said, one of them's even a vapor. She's really cool. Talk to her about vape shit. Whatever. And so one of the shitty mail people brought me a Pico cap today, which I think I just knocked over. and it looks really cool. It's one of the ones with like the Celtic-y designs. Sean took a really pretty picture of it today and put it up in Plumes group. You can go look at it there. I'm tired of talking. Next.
I got that one, and I got the other one. I got the bell cap alike as well.
Yeah, the clear cap one.
Which also looks pretty good, but it's not as cool as the Celtic one. So I'm not really gonna focus on that one. So we talked a little bit about the lip syncing videos, and I posted 2 of them in side chat for Mass to play because I
have them.
Brilliant. So I did this grand opening party for Harbor Vapor. So, and you guys will get a kick out of this. The first shop that ever did a Plumes of Hazard party, 2 vapes. The dude sold the shop to go into juice, to just do juice distribution and stuff. So these guys at Harbor Vapor bought that shop, and so the grand opening party was at their old shop. And they turned it, like, they completely redid the inside. It looks really nice, and it was a good time, but these lip syncing videos are fucking hilarious if you want to play them, Mast.
Yep, play the first
We're
one.
not going to get flagged, are we?
I don't think so. Oh, it's sideways. Yeah. There we go. This one's short. You might have to crank the volume, though.
Okay. Do you want me to zoom in on the TV or just leave it like it is?
It doesn't matter. You can zoom in on the TV if you want.
Okay, we'll zoom it in a little bit.
I don't think you saw this one.
I haven't seen either of them. All right, here we go. Oh my God.
Talk over it.
Hang on, I think I need to zoom in on the TV a little bit more.
That one's short, but that one's really good.
Wow, let's see. Alright, here we go. That is freaking awesome.
Now Brian's is much longer, but it's really good. We'll have to talk a little bit over this one.
You need to leave the DJ in there because he's
the DJ in there.
Wow, they really changed the inside of that place.
Alright. There we go.
There you go.
Alright. Let's try this one. I think every Plumes should now have a section like that. That is.
I agree.
That's awesome.
I am half tempted to say if somebody can do a really good overdub of a show.
You know what? Right now. Hey, we'll say right now. I'll give away the Renegade X V2 box that we built on the show for a winner of what, top 5, and then we'll pick out of that if they can do a dub.
Best overdub wins the Renegade X. Second and third place win a full line of Poe.
There you go. Oh man, that is a sweet
The
deal.
problem is we can't play it.
Oh, we'll make it work.
Yeah, we'll take our hit.
We'll make it work.
Yeah.
It'll be worth it. It'll be a good contest.
There you
So
go.
that right now. So that's going to happen. We'll run it for a week or 2 and see how it goes.
Yeah.
You can submit them to the Plumes group. You can submit them to poe@theownpage.com because we probably will ask for the raw video to play.
Yeah.
Pretty much bad lip reading Poe edition with music. Yeah.
Could you imagine a bad lip reading?
Yeah.
So that was a lot of fun.
Should we do bad lip reading or music?
We should do both.
Okay, fine. Well, either one. Bad lip reading or music. Either one.
Yes.
Either one plays.
Right. And don't puss out and do it like 10 seconds long. Do a real one.
Yeah, do a real one. Like everybody's got their voices.
Talking about a freaking mod here, people. Put some work in.
At least 30 seconds.
Yeah.
That's a dose.
Hey, it's been an hour. Let's hurry. That's my fault too. Sorry.
No, that's good. That's gonna be fun. So, I want to shout out to Mr. Keep It Going, Phil Basardo, because I totally stole this from him this morning, and he told me that he puts up stuff on Monday morning just for us to take if we want it. So kind.
For you to take.
Anokin has announced a new board.
Yep.
And I'm going to screen share right now. The Atomon Chipset.
Mm.
Now I don't get a lot of this stuff. So like I get ultra low standby power. I get precise coil resistance reading, which that's pretty insane. Like that's several. That's way in there. 0.00000.
Yeah.
What I don't get, and what I'm unsure about, is the details of VDC power output with clear wave noise cancellation.
Nobody likes noisy waves.
Yeah, nobody likes noisy waves.
Is this a preamp output for a speaker, or what are we doing here?
That's what I was thinking.
That was kind of my thought. So it's apparently ultra fast, 0.2 seconds from click to vapor. Total temperature control and dry hit. 100-watt chip. I guess from what I understand, this is what they have that's going to be going up against pretty much everything else, including Evolve. So I don't pick up much stuff in this range, but I might pick up one of these and try it out because
Can I just point out and say that how much their logo looks like this logo every time I see it, which is the Incredibles logo from the cartoon.
Yeah, kind of.
That stuff just drives me bananas.
It kind of has. I have to say, like, this specific ad for the Atomon chipset looks like Intel Inside or some shit like that. It looks like they're trying to tout a computer processor. Like a little Atomon up in the corner.
So the resistance will go down to 0.000000 divided by 0, and it just blows up.
So this is going to be coming out soon. 3300 mAh battery. It's the new Cool Fire. It's designed to be one of the top of the line compact all day vapes. I'll say that the jury's still out on that, but kind of cool. I like new chips. I think they're interesting. So. Yeah. That'll be fun to play with.
I didn't personally find the Cool Fire 4 to be terribly comfortable. I got to hold one at it was the Knoll when we were up there. I don't know, it was a little.
It was weird. Really small.
Like, it was very small. I'd probably have to spend some time with it to figure out how to hold
it. But thanks to Phil for giving me one of the only things that I had to talk about tonight. I can talk about this really adorable little thing, which has nothing whatsoever to do with vaping, but it's cool as shit.
Oh, yeah. Oh, is that the thing I thought was Link's vibrator?
Yeah, that's the Gremlin. Little mini pocket tool.
Thanks to our friend Jack for finding me one, which is very, very kind of him.
Because I like other little pocket tools and keychain stuff, and not just nice vaping stuff. So that's cool. There's some news in the pro vape sphere that I just found out about.
Huge news.
Huge news.
Huge news. Speaking of chips, are you ready?
Oh, yeah, go. Boom.
Holy, the big black pro vape.
A bigger, blacker pro vape.
Yeah,
blacker pro vape.
What's different about it besides the fact it's black?
Aerospace quality manufacturing and input from our discerning customers. We created one of the most luxurious and powerful tube-style vaporizers in the world.
Oh, 50 watts?
50.
Say what?
50 watt.
50 watt.
Really?
Plus a new high-performance end cap.
Yep.
That's pretty cool.
I like that contact design.
Now, I'm going to guess that we will probably see this within the radius soon-ish.
One would assume.
I mean, all the other stuff that they typically have, but it looks like 50 watt.
Well, how cool would it be if that was a firmware upgrade for the radius?
Oh, no shit. Yeah, that'd be nice. It would mean I wouldn't have to get another radius.
Mm-hmm.
It just has to do more than 6 volts.
Yeah. 6 volts is not enough volts.
I think it does. No, it doesn't say.
Yeah.
I don't know, Sean. You're gonna have to look on the site and see.
Either way, it's cool to see a new tube mod.
Sean, there's a couple other pictures. There's one with somebody holding it. You can show that because I
have the site up.
Yeah.
I can.
And the price is on there too.
It is, yes. So there we go. There it is in a hand. I love that they use a really tiny dripper
to make the tiniest dripper. That looks like an Element mods dripper.
Yeah, because that thing is totally disgustingly large.
Mm-hmm.
So good choice.
What's with the hieroglyphic knurling on the below the screen and by the end cap?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, look at that. It's kind of a Native American-y.
Or a Persian rug. I've seen them there too.
Or a Persian rug. Yep.
High performance end cap. Which I do kind of like that end cap.
Well, and that makes sense. Like the radius has got a very specific negative contact as well.
It's neat. It looks like too big of a mod to use, but
It does. You're right.
it is a very big mod.
So there we go. There's the prices. The satin silver is $219, and the stealth is $259.95. So the bigger, blacker Provari will set you back $260.
Flitz is probably going to get one.
Word.
Flitz will probably get a bigger, blacker Provari in Aramaic. Or Aramaic. So that's that. That was courtesy of Dong Magnum.
Thank you, Dong.
Thank you, dog.
I got shit else, Mass. What do you got?
What do you mean you got shit else?
That's all I got to talk about.
Oh, I thought you had something else.
No,
tons of
we
stuff.
played lip syncing videos. We laughed. I talked about the Inokin thing. I talked about Provari. I also got caps, but Brian took that from me.
Aww.
Oh.
I'm sorry.
Oh.
We talked about it. It was fine.
All right, so we were talking in here earlier about basically the new. This is the new E-Leaf. I don't know what you want to call it. It's called the Peak. It's called the Pico, but Angsty pretty much said, yeah, it's called the Pico. It's an E-Leaf Ice Stick Pico, and there's kind of what it looks like. That's how you hold it. When you let go of that and you throw it, it actually activates the pin like on a grenade, and you can throw it. And in case you're being chased and you have to, blow
It's like with the lighter. If you threw it and broke it the right way, it would.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
it's like a smoke bomb, right? Ninja smoke bomb.
Ninja vanish.
Yeah.
there it is.
So this year is totally going to be the year of like micro devices, and I'm kind of happy about that.
This is the iStick Pico, and I believe it's a 4 to 5 watt device, and the measurements are 70 millimeter tall by 45 millimeters wide. And as one of the commenters said, the form factor 10 out of 10, the replaceable battery 10 out of 10, the brand name 0 out of 10. So thanks to Norm Studman for that comment. So I mean, there you have it. Nothing crazy looking. It does have a replaceable battery.
Here, I'm gonna vape my Hypno Stick like that for a while.
I tried that. So there you go. Yeah.
Yeah, do that. There you go.
Yeah.
Somebody said, how did they get away with the name Pico? Are they the same owners? No.
Well, Pico's a measurement.
It has the same name.
Yeah.
There's like perfect example. This isn't Art and Mod Evo. There's a Black Rose Evo. There's somebody else. There's the Cyclone Evo.
Yeah.
There's 3 Evos.
DC Evo.
And then there's also Evolve, which is, I mean, 1 letter removed.
Yeah.
Evolve.
So the next thing I wanted to cover was an image that a user out at a B&M snapped, and this is really cool. This was by username dcook697, and he said these battery tips I saw at a local B&M that he was visiting. And this is really good. I mean, this is really cool that B&Ms are doing something like this. And guys, can you see most of the stuff, or should I zoom in on some parts? We'll start from the top left over here. Basically, it has said, it's saying, hey, if you're using a mechanical mod, you need to know the amperage limit on your battery. Don't put too much restraint on it. It's got the battery on there, and then batteries were torn, and wrappers need to be replaced. Don't leave your batteries in your car. They're in the middle. Hey, this is an important one. Don't keep your batteries inside your pants, purse, pockets, whatever.
Yeah.
Keep your batteries in cases, and down at the bottom, kind of showing excessive heat, what it'll do to the battery, and excessive cold. So this is really cool. I think kudos to the B&M I don't think he mentions the B&M where it was at. Let's see.
I have something related to this,
Nope.
Masty,
Yeah, go ahead. Keep talking.
that I didn't talk about. So I was slightly, I don't know what happened, but when I was removing the batteries from my my Squonker earlier this week, I had it catch on the positive contact, and you can see there I've got some damage along the insulator or on the edge, which is where it's getting dangerous, right there. And then my bottom was getting messed up, and guess who's not going to use this battery anymore? This guy. I made a $5 mistake, and I messed up the wrap.
Should we slow clap for him?
Right.
Or golf clap?
Recycle.
Could rewrap it.
Yeah, and I can rewrap it. I don't have any wrap, so instead I'm going to recycle it.
That's true. So there you go. I mean, that's pretty cool. One of the things on here, which is also important, is don't charge your batteries overnight.
Yeah.
Keep an eye on them. Keep them in the same room. I don't even want to, be in a separate location, in a separate part of my house if I'm charging something. With the 18650s, you still want to be within range that you can see them. With lipos, absolutely. I still wouldn't walk away from any of them. One of the things that I think in Tech Time coming up, I want to show is a lot of these mods are now starting to use lipos. A lot of them have onboard charging, and the onboard charging is getting better, right? So a lot of these devices, like for example this guy, even though it's using 18650s, it's got a 2-amp charger in it. Okay, so we're advancing on that now. 2-amp charging, you're going to generate some heat, all that stuff. If you have mods that you have lipos that you can pop in and out, or you have lipos that are out, even the lipo bags that are out there, which is a bag that you put the lipo in while you're charging to keep it safe from overcharging or bursting into flames and burning your house down, a lot of those have shown that the bag will just blow off if there's an issue with the battery. So later on, depending if people are interested, we'll show what a cool little idea that you can do with something like an ammo can that you can pick up at a local Army surplus store for $5-10, and you could make some holes in it, and that could be your battery charging station. Where if that lipo decides to vent, it's going to bounce around in that box. Okay, obviously not sealed, but open, and heat and stuff. If you have it in a place where it's going to be okay, is not going to damage anything in your house. You might get some smoke and some stuff. Again, lithium. When lithium batteries vent, you don't want to be breathing in that shit. So
don't breathe this.
This all leads into still with battery safety. I know we kind of beat a dead horse, but listen, this happens, and this is something I would have never thought about this. Okay, I posted a picture in our chat earlier because I have 3 dogs, all big dogs. They like to get in, garbage, not garbage, but the bathroom trash and just tear paper and stuff like that.
They get the Q-tips. Do they run around the house with the Q-tips?
Yeah, they don't, and they'll find those Q-tips. Like if my wife ever leaves a Q-tip on the nightstand or something, man, they can just find them. That and a candy wrapper. Like a candy wrapper, isn't it? Yeah, so anyways, my backyard is littered with dryer sheets because my lab likes to eat them and then poops them out. So my yard smells fresh. But labs eat everything. But anyways, so one of the things that I never thought about, and I don't think my dogs would do this because they're not, anything on my desk and stuff like that they leave alone. But this guy completely has nothing to do with vaping. In another group that I'm part of, left for work, and his dog got a hold of one of his lipos. And this is the image that he came home to after a day of work. Okay? And as you can see, it says, my dog grabbed one of my lipos while I was at work. The dog is okay, and he just felt very lucky that his house, A, was not burnt down, his dog was not dead, but when he came home, it just smelled. It was just smell of the lithium and chemicals puffed out. That is scary.
Puffed out like that.
Yeah, that is scary as shit right there, because that could have killed that dog. It could have burnt the house down. I mean, and it's something where, you know, and if you have small children, if you have anything that can get to these batteries, you know, it's almost to the point, don't leave them anywhere where anything can reach them and puncture them. You know, even a fall, even if someone's grabbing a battery off of a shelf or something like that, and it just lands just right. You know, and you puncture them. Again, these lipo packs are pretty strong, but, you know, just something like that, I would have never thought of one of my dogs grabbing one of the packs and,
sure,
you know, hey, they're soft, they're chewy, so they go chew on it, and as soon as they puncture that, you know, they're going to get a fucking rude awakening.
So you said something a minute ago, Master, you want to touch on. You said, I know we're beating a dead horse. If there's one or two subjects that I'll beat like the deadest of dead horses, I think we're okay beating this one to death. Be fucking safe with your batteries, people.
Honestly, if it's one new person that watches and catches it, like it's kind of worth it to do.
Yeah, and it's just, and I wanted to show this one because you know, it's something that I didn't even think about. Like, if you have dogs at home that, you know, you might have these lined up in a shelf, or you know, just somewhere where, you know, even if you don't have any small kids, they're out of reach of everything except for maybe the dog. And you would never think that the dog would be able to grab it. And, you know, man, that's the first thing, you know, nice and chewy, bite into that thing. So, I mean, I would have paid to see a camera of what this dog did when it bit into the lipo pack, you know. But there you go. So, I was lucky. I mean, some serious stuff. So, and that's all I have for my news.
Do we have tech time?
We do, but I need probably 5 minutes to set up.
Fine, I got something for while you set up.
Go.
We had a chat last week about B&Ms and starter kits and that kind of stuff, and that ended up being a really good chat. And I'm not going to rehash the chat because we hashed it out in the last episode. But what I wanted to bring up about it is, I mean, we just got so many comments and so many people discussing it on YouTube, and it generated a lot of really good conversation amongst everybody who's watching, which is really cool. So I kind of wanted to bring up a question for people. I'm really curious now. What kind of stuff do you, the viewers, want us to talk about? Is there any topic that we've completely and totally glazed over, which is completely possible, that you guys would like to hear?
Probable.
Yeah, if not very probable.
We haven't been following CloudCons, that's for damn sure.
That's for damn sure.
Yes.
I tried to address the reasonably priced tanks recently, which we have done a poor job of in the past.
But I'm just saying, if there's anything that you guys want us to bring up, you know, drop a comment, let us know, because I really like doing those, like, all-around chats about stuff like that, about the brick and mortar and about, you know, different stuff like that. I really like those chats. They're really good chats.
Yeah.
So if there's anything that you want us to kind of talk about as a topic, let us know.
Jump in the discourse, jump in our Plumes group on Facebook, whatever. I mean, the YouTube comments are okay, but it's always better to get interaction with the whole community if you drop in one of those other two places. And then we can cover it if it's good.
Here's the other question, because I don't think we can deny this. We're coming up on the end of a tight road with guests here.
Yeah.
We've had on a lot of people over 2 years. And, I mean, vaping tends to stay within its network, right? You know, like we have the people that we know and then the people that we meet. I saw the chat comment there.
Andy has just said we should talk about Bogate.
Bogate?
That was a minute ago.
That's a good one.
So my question for people is, and you know, same deal. Leave this wherever. Is there anybody that you really think that we should have on? Is there anybody that we should showcase or talk to, or anybody doing anything really interesting or really cool that we should bring on to chat?
Yeah.
I know in the near future we have another La-Di-Da modder. We have Kasa, and quite a few other guys like that to come on, and we have quite a few that, and we're kind of timing it all to work. But you know,
when we were coming into the close of last year, Sean and I talked a bit about this because we started comparing notes and saying, well, we've kind of tapped out on a lot of the people that we wanted. Not everybody, but we're getting on the low end of the people that we wanted to talk to, and we were like, in my opinion, my position on that was, I don't think I care. I don't want to just have anybody on. I'd much rather just do this because honestly, I love this show. I love the hostful shows, and I would be fine if this is pretty much all we did. But if there is somebody that we didn't happen to know that you really wanted to think we should talk about, let us know.
Yeah, and that's really what it is. I'm fine with doing the hostful shows, but if you guys feel strongly about somebody and think that we should have them on, let us know.
Yeah, we don't know everybody. We know many people, but we don't know everybody. There's people we don't.
Barkinator said DIY seems like something we avoid, and I don't think it's something we avoid. It's just something that we don't do. I mean,
yeah, I just said that. I said none of us don't, so we're kind of.
That's why we had Wayne come on, and I mean, there's not a lot of that I know. There's not a lot of really prominent guys in DIY outside of Wayne that I know.
Right.
So we had Wayne come on. Our third show, our second show was a DIY show.
Mm-hmm.
We never did. Like, I'm very pro DIY, just none of us do it.
And that's the thing, though. The people we know that have companies now, like Stash, Lab Rat, like Bigglesworth, they were all DIY guys first, and those are the ones we knew.
And then we pulled them in here because now they've got a company. They're not really DIYing anymore so much.
So there's not a lot. I mean, if you know a guys in DIY, make a post on Facebook, on Discord, comment on YouTube, whatever. Give us suggestions of people to have on. We'll check them out. We'll vet them. And
Derailment, another one.
Yeah. But I mean, I'm happy to kind of take a look at anybody and vet anybody to come on. I'm happy to. One thing that I don't see a lot is I don't see that middle modder, the kind of guys that we used to showcase all the time, the small business, not just small business, but small, like, for the everyman businesses. We don't see a lot anymore, and we haven't had anybody in for a while. So let us know.
Some of that grassroots boxy mod kind of thing has kind of died off a bit last year.
It's died off a lot. But I think that's a topic for another day.
Yeah. You ready, Nessie? You still froze?
Yeah.
Sorry.
I was trying to switch over.
That was perfect.
So and I just wanted to finish something here, but I think I don't know if the grassroots DIY box mod thing has actually died, or if it's more people basically just saying I want to build something different, or I want to do a stab wood mod or something like that, because they're still out there, but they're more, they're more business.
Well, they're still out there. It hasn't died. It's died off. I think it's not as prominent as it once was when you had 15 different people making their own take on the OKRT.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Okay, so what I'm doing right now is last week we basically wired up most of the stuff on this board. And I had an issue with the wires that I used because these guys were stranded, okay, and this is the Cat 5 stuff that I use. So I'm going to change it because a lot of them, some are solid core, these were stranded, and I didn't like the way, okay, if you're wrapping this and putting it in something and done, not moving the wires around, no problem. But I'm sitting here, let's show this, let's show that, moving all the wires around, and for show purposes, this wasn't really doing it for me. And the reason is because when I'm showing you guys stuff, I want to be able to be moving all these wires around. So what I ended up doing is, just right there in these few minutes, I went ahead and rewired the board real quick with just some 20 gauge wire, and we're just gonna rewire that stuff real quick. So I basically took some 20 gauge red and black. I had some blue, but I couldn't find it, and that's what I'm doing now. I'm just going through and wiring straight in. So what it looked like before, it looked like this. Okay, so I had these wires, and here's what would happen. You start going like this, and this guy's going to break. okay, because it's the strand and it's very thin. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these out real quick, and I'm going to solder some silicone 20 gauge wire to the board. So it won't take long. So if you already did it like this, we'll show you real quick how to pull these guys out. I usually apply heat on the bottom end. And actually, you can. I wanted to show it, but it'll probably be easier doing it this way. Gonna go ahead and pop these wires out. You don't need a lot of heat, just 2 seconds.
Massey, do you have a shrink tube on your jaws there?
I do. I put some shrink wrap on the jaws to kind of protect the boards. I'm in the process. Yeah, I'm in the process of getting a nice station that has multiple arms. That's really cool to kind of show progression of going from something like this that there's nothing wrong with. You can use this, and you know, to however, you know, you can do some crazy stuff with these guys. Okay, these helping hands. But these are, you know, these are starting to show their age. They don't hold as well. They've, you know, they're a little bit worn out. So the new ones are going to be really cool, and I can't wait to get those in to show you guys. But I decided to put some shrink wrap on the end of the jaws there because these guys grip really good, and they got some serious gnarly teeth. And with these little small components, okay, if you're soldering and stuff like that, you get this warm at all, and those teeth are grabbing onto that, it'll fling them off, or you know, it'll actually dig into the PCB board also. So, yep, I put some simple heat shrink on there, and that, you know, give you a little bit of protection. So, all right, let's pull these guys out. And again, I suggest doing this if you're going to do that with, you know, leaving the wire on there. So, and let's flip this guy over. And again, just to remind everyone, we are using the we're using this guy. Let me put it up on the screen. You guys can follow along. This is on the Smart PWM board Facebook group. That is the image that we're following for this V2 board. And I do know that they had an issue with the V2.1. They had to change some components on it. So just, you know, keep an eye out on the Facebook page. They're resending some of the boards out. Again, that's for the V2.1. So I'll leave this up here, and we'll switch back over. So you could find that image on the Facebook group. So all right, so we have our LED. This side's already wired. Let's work real quick on the other side. And starting from the bottom up, you have your voltage in. All right, next one up is going to be a negative. So let's hook the negative wire up to that. And again, those wires coming into this board, you're going to want to use 14 gauge on those. I am, for showing purposes, using 20 right now, but you're going to want to use 14 gauge when you actually solder this guy together. So, and the voltage end is really the only two places where the one going to the board and the ground are the ones you're going to want to do that with. So let's finish soldering these guys on there. All right, next one up from that is another negative. So there's two negatives together. So I'm not going to use that one right now. Then there's a space. Okay, then the next one up from that is the center pin on the potentiometer. So that'll go to the pot. So let's go ahead and get some more wire. And again, it was nice having the different color, but you know, to show you guys moving those wires around, it was not going to stay. So all I'm doing is basically tinning a piece of this 20 gauge, nice and flexible, and finish wiring this sucker up. And we won't power it up tonight because there's still a few other things that we need to finish, but hopefully by next show I figured it would be a 3 to 4 show setup. What time is it, Maxie? How are we doing on time?
You do what you need to do. We've been an hour, just almost an hour and a half.
Okay.
We're making good time tonight.
Yeah, we're on track.
Hour and a half, assuming we start at 9 o'clock.
Well, we're on track to have like the first hour and a half show in a while, which is nice.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. All right. I just want to make sure. There we go. There's no splatter anywhere. All right, and then this one appears empty. So we're wired in. So let's go ahead and flip this guy over back. And I'm just looking at the flux on the board. Let's go ahead and this first guy here goes to the one end of the MOSFET, which is, we had already done this before. So if you're watching this show and you didn't watch the one before, we put our SMD MOSFET right on the 510. Okay, we soldered right to it, and this first wire goes to it. So let's bring this guy up. Yeah, I can't wait to get the new stand. So much nicer. And the problem with this, well, the problem is too with this, it's got a bigger aluminum base, and the problem with this small one is you put, if you don't have it tied down, unless you get some lead shot or something to put in there, doesn't have a very heavy base, and for what I'm using it for, it's worked just fine. But having something a little bit heavier will work. My brother actually got me. He's actually he works out at NASA, and he's a welder, and he got me one of these bolts that they cut off this old piece of machinery that's probably about this size. The head of the bolt is, and I was going to put it on there, but the problem is, it's going to move all around. So, the new base is bigger and it's got more weight. So, all right, we're soldered there. And next up is our LED. LED is already soldered in, and what I ended up doing, if you hadn't seen, is I soldered the resistor right in line with the LED. Okay, so all right. Next wire up from that is the switch. We already have that end done, and we still have to run a ground to it. And then next wire up from that goes to the potentiometer. It's this guy here. So let's take this guy out. Okay. Hold it up there. Oh, I'm not even in frame, am I? Yeah. All right. And let's put this. Man, this would be great with some some Kenny G or some slow nappy.
Soft nappy.
All right. Oh man, got dog hair on there. Damn it, Jim.
Damn it.
But that smells great.
Smells like shit. Dog hair, it helps your solder. No, it doesn't. Okay. All right. Next, going over to the other side, this guy here will go to the center pin of this potentiometer. So we'll bring it up to the top. Put a little bit of this flux, and I'm just gonna tin it real quick. There we go. And it'll be this guy. We might be able to put power to it today. See if it blows up. All right. Okay. Good. center.
Quick question inside chat, Masty. Are you
Mhm.
running that PWM in series?
Yes, this is it's going to be a 2S setup. So it's going to have two 18650s. Yep, that's a good question. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the negative that's down here, okay, and I'm going to run it to the third and last leg of this potentiometer. These PWM I think can be ran in 2S, 1S, 2S, and 3S. I'm not sure about the 1S. You have to check the site, the Smart PWM Facebook group. Guy's name's Mark. He's done a really great job of having diagrams up and stuff like that. So really cool guy. And a lot of these are really running with lipos because of the compact size and power that some of these lipos can have. And but we're gonna do a 18650 setup here. So all right.
Azzy, why are you holding the soldering iron way back on that big grip? Wouldn't it be easier if you held it a little closer up to the tip? Like
Yeah.
that, with that lady?
Right here? Yeah. That's going to be, And then I heard somebody saying that ended up in some book, and I'm like, you got to be kidding me. How can you use a stock image of people holding the soldering iron up here?
Yeah.
Maybe she doesn't have any nerves in her fingers.
That's like the DJ DJing in the DJing on the board that isn't plugged into anything.
Yeah. Or the guys, the SWAT guys with the rifle mags in backwards.
Mm-hmm. Those are always fun. All right. So one of the things that we have here is, so on this side, here's one of the grounds. Okay. Now this ground, I'm going to run to the. I'm going to run this to the switch. Okay, and that should really finish most of the stuff because this ground here is going to run directly to the negative of the battery. Okay, and the positive, and that's going to complete everything. So shit, I say let's do it. See what happens. Is that you messaging, Sean?
Yeah, not important. Ignore it.
Okay. So sure, I could hear it in the background. All right. Again, with these switches, remember you want to be quick with the heat. And again, guys, I'm using a Weller 40 watt soldering iron, and I have it about halfway. So I'm only at not very much heat. Again, you don't need a lot of heat for these small components. Just on it and quick. All right. You don't need to sit there for 3 to 4 minutes, watching it cook. So, okay, so let's go over. We have our MOSFET. We need to put our 510 together real quick. Let me see if I have one of these already done. Maybe not. Let's do that real quick. So here's the center pin of the 510. We've done these before. These are always fun. And let's reuse some wire. Okay. Actually, let's just do. Okay. See if I can get a cap. What I'm doing now is I'm going to put this 510 together real quick. And I want to make sure my wire is going to fit through there. That's okay. So I'm going to use, for the positive, I'm going to use, this is 16 gauge. So it's a little, you really want to use a 14. So I'm going to tin this guy up. Okay, there we go. And put the cap on it. All I'm doing now is basically pushing this cap on here real quick. And I'm going to make sure that I solder this to the center pin. And these new Varitube 510s make it a lot easier. I should have put it on one of these guys because they have the huge pad that you can solder to. All right. See if I can do this without getting blasted. All right, let's see. Okay. All I'm doing now is just soldering I'll solder the wire to this. I'm gonna get this piece warmed up, make it a little bit easier. That's a big pin, so. All right. Push this guy back down. Center pin. Okay. Center pin.
Question in chat, Mast. Are you
Yep.
using silicone wire?
Yes. Yes. This is all Turnigy. This, for example, is 16 gauge. And the silicone wire is silicone insulated wire is really nice because it's really bendy. It's stranded, and it can take some heat. So when you're soldering, I mean, this covering will go 200 degrees Celsius. So you can literally sit there and, all right, you saw it change color a little bit there, but it's still malleable. It's fine. So this is really good stuff. So okay, let's hook this sucker up. So because really we just have actually I need to run. I'm gonna run one more ground. 1, 2, 3. The third one up. I'm gonna run another ground wire real quick. Do the battery, because since this isn't in a box, and we don't have a, we're not using the common ground of a box. Or just to be safe, we'll run one more ground. can never have enough ground. And again, you can use all the grounds on there, or if you're using a common, you can do that too, common ground for all of those. Whether it's a piece of wire or anything else. Alright, let's flip this guy around. And both of these here are grounds on both of those, so right next to each other. All right. All right, now our sled is old crusty. So if we have, you want to designate one of these your positive, one of them your negative. Okay, so I like doing this on the positive. Battery goes in negative here, negative up here, positive down here. Okay, so we'll go ahead and strap this guy. Let's get a natty on here first. I don't know what I'm going to put on here. See if it'll fire. Let's do this. Velocity. I can fry my velocity. Let's check and see what build I have on here. I haven't even checked that yet. 0.16. I want something a little bit higher to begin with. Looking for something around 0.3. What's my NARD I have on it? We can do this 1.4. I don't think I have anything else built. We could see it blow up. And that's my bottom feeding. Okay. So we can mount this guy here. Okay. So this side of the MOSFET is going to go to the negative, so it'll be right down here. And then the board and the board positive and negative are going to come to the battery also. Okay, so here's our ground coming from the box, or from the chip, I should say. I know it looks like a bunch of wires everywhere, because it is a bunch of wires everywhere, but doing these live. All right, how are we doing on time? Dixie? Sean? Anybody?
Sorry, I was unmuting. That's, I mean, finish up when you're done.
Okay. I've got one there. Just remember too, this is just for obviously, a shitty sled and stuff like that, but make sure you stay away from when the batteries are going in and out. So, should have thought about this a little bit better. My positive's a little short. So, you know what? With the power of TV, we can just make that shit longer. Let's take the one we have in there, pull it out, switch it. That way I can reach the sled. All right. Do we even still have people watching?
We're
Is
still
noticeably less. But there are still people.
Okay.
Yep. So someone just said so much for our hour and a half show.
Yep.
I just typed the same thing in side chat a couple minutes ago.
We're close.
You know what? This is solid content, though.
Okay. So let's make it that long. All right. Flip our board over. There we go. And again, these don't have to be crazy gauge wires because these are just providing voltage to the board itself. These are not carrying a load. So, Shaker knows all about carrying the load, right? What does he think? All right. Almost done. It's like the race to finish the PWM board. And not blow yourself up. Not set off the fire alarm.
People wait till next week to see it work.
Huh?
I think we should make people wait till next week to see it work.
Yeah, we'll finish it because I want to make sure I test this and not set off the fire alarm at 11 o'clock at night with my 3-month-old sleeping. So, okay.
That would be a bad idea. Bad idea from Mr. Masty.
Yeah, I probably won't. I probably won't be in the house doing the show next week if that was to happen.
So we're just going to go with the more Bob Ross approach tonight.
Yeah, so the last one here is this big old thick wire. Just trying to hold it over here so we can solder it. Guess I don't want to. I'm just going to pre-tin it, so because it's such a big wire, these sleds are El Cheapo plastic. That is one thing, this stranded wire, man, it soaks up solder like you wouldn't believe, so. All right. Dirty, but it'll do. It'll do. So this is the one from the 510, which will be carrying a load. As you can see, it's a bigger wire, so I want to make sure it's on there really good. Okay. Boom. All right, so just to go over what we did, we wired everything back up with the silicone wire. We have our switch wired up. We have our potentiometer wired up. This is how you're going to change basically the power output to the load, which is your build. We have the wiring from the board coming to the battery sled. You have your wires going to the -510 and to the MOSFET. Now remember, this MOSFET that you see here is a little bit different than the regular MOSFETs that you're used to seeing, because that's a surface mount one. So we were able to solder it to the bottom of the 510, kind of to save you some space. So, and that's really pretty much it. Next week, we'll fire this sucker so you guys can see it. Sorry, I know I'm a cock tease, but hey, that's how we do.
That's how we do.
No, you can't have.
You might not think it do.
No, you can't have.
It be. You might not think it be, but it do.
So.
Couldn't resist once.
Ding.
Dink.
I don't do the dink anymore because they got rid of it in the regular Hangout too. So I just
Yeah.
No dink.
So let's get out before 2 hours. Let's try that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, that's our show, everybody.
all right, cool, thanks, peace.
Thanks for coming out, guys. Later on.